Shawty calling my phone. I think it's Isabelle. I wanted today's review to be a love movie. I just got out of a 2-year relationship with a woman that I had a child with. So I've been a little down in the dumps the last few days, so I decided to watch this. Voicemails for Isabelle. This movie started off a little weird, like why we got some elementary, middle school kids kissing and talking a little bit? That one dude's about to pop out with that, oh shit. And then boom, the dude that Jill kissed started trying to roast her about some beef jerky breath and then said one of the most crazy things. He said, does your sister taste like beef jerky too, or just a middle schooler saying that? Ain't no way he don't go to jail when he's older. When Jill was getting a little older, they showed her going on dates, and I gotta say, her taste in men is garbage. The one dude that she kissed when they were sitting on the bed, they kissed one time and buddy busted in his pants. And then the other guy had pink eye and decided to smear some of the discharge on her face. She was ranting, going crazy in the Uber about it. The Uber driver looked like he was scared for his life. And it blows my mind too, because a lot of men are actually that awful in real life, and you telling me somehow I can't find a woman to give a shit? Crazy. The other dude she went on a date with, she said my sister died, and then asked him, oh, how have you been? Man smacked his hand on the table immediately and said, my life's been amazing. Like, damn, cold-hearted motherfucker. Jill was a chef too, and why are all chefs so mad? I always see clips of good chefs just unhinged, pissed off at somebody. I felt bad for Jill that her sister died, and I'm sure it hurt her a lot more too, since she was gonna come home and see her and ended up not doing that. I was not expecting the main character dude Wes to have a girl in his bed off rip when he got the first call. And it's a good thing he ended up dropping that girl, cause God dang, that woman was like Hulk smash. I'm all about, you know, getting a little wild and crazy when it comes into the bedroom, getting a little freaky. But Jesus Christ, man, she was WWE SmackDown on that bed. Jill had a horrible taste in men. That's why I was a little indifferent, because I did respect her for not going for that Greek god famous podcast dude and sticking to her word. But dead ass, all the tool bags that you go for, and now here is where we're drawing the line, although that line did not stay drawn very long. He hit her with the old, oh, I forgot my wallet trick, folded like some stack of Legos that just got stepped on. That boy Wes over the phone looked like he was about to have a panic attack. He was losing his mind, like he was watching the peak episode of a soap opera. But Wes was playing chess when it came to that girl, man. He was a real estate agent and hit his boss with an old, I think I should go down to San Francisco to try to close a couple of those properties up, when in all reality he's really just trying to close the deal on shawty. I want to know too, what kind of D1 level stalker shit did Wes have to pull to find out that Jill was gonna end up at that guy's live podcast? But it was a good thing he did go there, man, because he got to watch her absolutely demolish that dude.
Who the f is this long-headed, jawbreaker looking ass and Miss Mary? Shut up!
He would look like Porky Pig sitting on that stage after he was like, Wes finally decided to make his move and sat right next to her on the bench after he heard the voicemail where she was hoping something like that would happen. And that shit went horribly bad. But he did pull a fourth quarter OT clutch shot at the end when he asked her about the tacos. They started to hang out here and there and get close, and then they decided to go on the Giggle Bus. The dude who was hosting the Giggle Bus, horrible.
Brother, this guy stinks!
The funniest part about his whole entire thing was when he decided to leave the bus. And then Wes decided to get up and host the whole 2-hour show in San Francisco, which he literally just dropped down in from the airplane. That took some balls to go up there, so round of applause to him. And I know that made Jill fall in love with that man. You saw the eyes that she was giving him. But Wes, how do you have the balls to do that, but you don't got the balls to tell her about the voicemail? Come on, man. I knew halfway through this movie that Jill was gonna end up calling Wes's phone and see that the calls were really going to him. I get it, Jill. I understand why she was upset with Wes for not telling her. But at the end of the day, the connection that they had was real. And me personally, I thought she should have saw that and let that slide. But she didn't, and she dipped. Back to her cooking job with that me now, rom-com still on ass chef, who decided to give that absolute toolbox the Baker position. And you could tell deep down that he actually liked her. And I mean, how are you gonna give it to him? In Gordon Ramsay's words, it's a roll. That was one of the most valid crash outs I've ever seen when it comes to her spazzing on that guy. And she was on his head too. The Timu Gordon Ramsay joke had me dying. She didn't know what her next move was, but her parents clutched up with giving Jill her sister's college fund so that she can decide to do what she want with it and hopefully create her own cooking business, which is what she did. It was out of a truck, but it worked. Well, not really at the start.
You've got no friends.
She had to get help from the other cook, which I want to say her name is Zella, but don't quote me on that. But Zella decided to come and save the day for her horrible grand opening. Literally the only thing she ended up serving that day was some flames. And then we finally get to see a little bit of Wes, and that boy was absolutely heartbroken about everything. And some of y'all do not actually understand how much he loved that girl. He decided to give up his dream goal, which was getting that Black Lotus card, just for her to get her sister's voicemails back, which isn't even a guaranteed thing that she's gonna end up talking to him again. For all you non-nerds, and I'm not a nerd, I just have seen videos of how much this card actually goes for in real life. Y'all, that card goes for over $1 million. He was not lying when he said that's probably the most expensive thing he owned, except for maybe that house, because that house was freaking huge. I gotta say, this movie did hit home with me a little bit more just because of everything I'm going through, and I'm a lover boy at heart, man, y'all. I've always been the hold the door open, flowers, date type of romance. I don't know what it is. I want some movie type romance, and a lot of people claim that they do nowadays, but everybody just doesn't really care about each other. That dream fantasy of having a family and finding that just slowly seems like it's fading away. And I really wish people would just slow down and really think about others in life. Like, it's crazy how many people come and go on this planet. Someone we walk past is an absolute total stranger to us, but to someone else, that is literally somebody's everything. Life really is such a crazy thing and a blessing. To be able to share that with somebody else is an even more of a blessing. If I had to rate this movie, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. I thought it did a really good job balancing everything. We got a little bit of comedy, romance, a little drama. It was an enjoyable watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure y'all like and subscribe if you did. I would love to be able to start posting a video every single week, but like I said, them videos expensive, along with everything else that's expensive. So I'm really trying to budget. Once we though start getting a lot more traction, I'm gonna start piling these videos on, because it really is one of the things that I love to do most in this life. I hope y'all have an amazing day, and as always, man, even if life gets a little hard, make sure you're partying like every day is your birthday, and have a good one. Deuces.